comes to the latest technology, young people are amazingly adept. So why not harness their skills and pique their interest to become future leaders? Well, in April of this year, Bahamian students will get a unique opportunity to design a real and fully functional wind turbine. The details are coming up in the Reid Factor. My special guest of Father Shazz Turnquest, who is the Senior Consultant of Saturn Innovations and the Project Director of the St. John's College Energy Academy, and Mr. Quincy Parker, who is the Director of Public Relations at Bahamas Power and Light. Welcome again, gentlemen, to the Reid Factor.
Thank you so much.
Now, this is really an exciting opportunity that's coming up. I mean, the last show we had together was quite exciting too, but this is really an exciting opportunity for young people. It's called the KidWin Bahamas Wind Turbine Competition 2020. What's it all about?
Well, thank you. Okay. The last time we were here, we promised that as a part of the one of the deliverables for the STEM School 242 program that BPL and the Energy Academy partnered with is this KidWin thing. KidWin is a program that's run in the United States. It's a national program. It's federally funded, I believe. And BPL was grateful enough to pay for my training as a teacher to attend a training session. And I met the founder, Michael Arkin. And I said, Mike, we're gonna have a KidWin in the Bahamas. That's what our intention is. And the winner from this thing, I want them to be able to come up to the National KidWin Championship that's held every year. It moves all around the United States. And he said, man, go for it. And so, hey, we are putting our money where our mouth is, and we're going to try to make this happen.
Now, they're going to be building real and functioning wind turbines.
On a smaller scale.
Yeah.
What's going to happen is,
first of all, tell people what a wind turbine is if they don't know. Let's not assume they know.
Okay. A wind turbine is a device used to harness the energy in flowing wind. You have two forms. You have a horizontal axis wind turbine. You have a vertical axis wind turbine. The horizontal axis looks like a propeller. It spins, the wind blows this way, the propeller turns.
So like, for example, those white structures that people might see at Atlantic City or in the Exumas.
Yes.
Those are wind turbines.
At over yonder key, I believe it is, where they have three of the big wind turbines. The vertical axis ones, they look like, you know, the mixer that you mix a cake with, the beaters in a cake. They rotate on a vertical axis, so they rotate around a vertical axis. They are more experimental. They can capture wind from any direction. They don't move around. I remember seeing one a long time ago in Grand Turk. And so you have two different forms. And what's going to happen is the students will be required to, using a kit that I will give them, they have to create a wind turbine that will fit inside a competition wind tunnel that we're building. It's a 4x4, 4 foot by 4 foot frame. And the job of the kids is to create a wind turbine that will generate as much power as it can do over a 30-second window that we will record. We will measure the voltage and we measure the current coming out from the wind turbine. And the team with the highest power output over that 30 seconds will win that part of the competition. There is another part where the judges will be supplied by BPL. They will judge the elegance of the design of what the kids have come up with, their creativity, their imagination. So that will be, the aesthetics really and the functionality of the device will be judged. And then the third part, and this is where the teachers come in, we will quiz the children on what do you understand from your knowledge of this building process? How does wind power work? What are the variables you need to take into consideration? What is the power output? What is the power factor? We will ask them probing questions to see if they only just had fun doing this or they learned something about wind energy.
Representatives from Kid Wind USA will be here as well?
They have indicated that because this is in the first time it's being held here, they are excited to come down and to be a part of it. So we look forward to welcoming someone from Kid Wind USA, and hopefully Mike will come down. But if not, he will send somebody, and we hope to do something. This is just a big thing. You know what I mean? For a long time, there's been a lot of talk about doing Kid Wind, but now we are trying to put some muscle to it and try to make it happen.
Quincy Parker, it's great to see BPL doing this and supporting this kind of event. You guys take a lot of beating, a lot of licks, and you're not always really seen as being innovative. Do you see this as a major push towards real innovation in alternative energy for BPL?
The STEM Schools 242 initiative is something that we launched last year at BPL with the sole intention of increasing the pool of innovators in the Bahamian community. We want the students who participate to go on to become engineers of the different stripes, whether that's mechanical or electrical. We want them to we expect that these will be the people whose innovations are going to liberate the Bahamas from fossil fuels entirely. These are going to be the people who create an entirely new form of generating energy and power. These are going to be the people whose imaginations are so ripe and so fecund that they can see the world in ways that we have yet to even perceive the edges of. And so with the Kid Wind Challenge in particular, what I'm excited about for BPL is we're gonna be actively participating in inspiring renewable energy technicians, right? These are gonna be kids who, Father Shazz mentioned it, it's gonna be fun. And there's nothing in the world for motivating continued involvement in an activity as when you yoke fun together with accomplishment.
Absolutely.
And we believe that this is going to be one of those opportunities for the students to see a path for themselves. This is fun, and I learned something, and I'm good at this.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you a question you probably can't answer, but here goes. Because I've never heard it. Like I said, you probably can't answer it. Does the Bahamas even have an idea in mind as to when we would want to be done with fossil fuels?
Well, here's what the government of the Bahamas is committed to. By the year 2030, we want to have 30% of our energy needs met through renewable sources.
So 10 years from now.
So in 10 years, we expect, particularly through the actions of BPL in going solar in the Family Islands, which is underway. We've already put solar in the ground in Ragged Island, and we have solar RFPs that have been closed, contracts we expect to award sometime this quarter for solar generation in Eleuthera, in Andros, and in Agua. And the work that we're doing to inculcate, to include renewables in what BPL is doing is complemented by the small-scale renewable generation program, which we offer, and ERCA also has a renewable generation program that will, under the program, anyone can build 100 megawatts of solar onto their house or business. And so 2030, we anticipate 30% of the energy from renewable sources. Beyond that, I think it's a conversation for the broader community.
But in real terms then, participants in this Kid Wind competition could really grow up to be the actual experts that really take this forward.
No, that is the entire goal of the STEM Schools 242 initiative. It is not a theoretical exercise. It is an investment in the next generation, the critical generation of Bahamian engineers who I believe and who we at BPL believe are going to turn this thing around for us.
How old do you have to be to participate in this, Father Shazz? Well, is there any age limit?
We're looking at kids from grade 6 to grade 9. Mm-hmm. You know, we can stretch it. I know in the States they go from maybe grade 4 all the way to K-12. Mm-hmm. But for the first one, we're trying to, you know, sort out all the kinks. We did something with some middle school kids, and we're trying to do something with some primary school kids. So we're using the window from grade 6 to grade 9. Okay. That's what we're going to start with.
Now, I was looking on your website, some information you gave me ahead of time, and there's some different areas there. The Early Kid Win program. You mind telling us some details about that?
The Early Kid Win program. You mean in terms of earlier years, or for the for the lower grade kids?
There's, I'm assuming it's for the lower grade kids, because there's a whole segment in the website that refers to early kid wins.
Well, what has happened, like I said, in the United States, what they do is they have different levels of competition. They have the smaller, earlier primary school, then they have middle school, and then they have high school. So the demands of the judging will be different. Okay, we're going to stick with the middle school kids, and we're going to see what they're able to come up with.
But you're at St. John's College, the great St. John's, the Green Giants.
Excellent school.
But and you have you are really the senior person as far as the Energy Academy is concerned, which has been doing some good things for quite a while. What kind of talent are you seeing? And you're seeing some talent that might be there, that might be younger than this.
But I'll tell
you, sort of fixed area you're looking at.
Well, okay, let me.
What geniuses are you seeing? Is really what I'm asking.
Well, let me give you a little history. Let me get you. The first thing. Well, I have to say a big thank you to the GF Small Grant Program. They were the catalyst that got the Energy Academy going. There would be no Energy Academy without them, and so I'm very grateful to them for the grant that we got from them to make this happen.
Hail my cousin Dion.
Yeah. And we were able to offer training to teachers. We were able to offer training to middle school kids. And there was the first cohort that we did, there was one young man, he was homeschooled. I'm sure he's in a grade 5 or grade 6. And this kid was fantastic. He was brilliant, okay? He was brilliant. And he brought his own cardboard box from home, and his mommy sent his lunch. And he brought everything. He brought his own computer. And yes, the kids they're exceptional. Bahamian children are exceptional. They're very creative. They're very intelligent. And even from a young age, if we can tap into that blank canvas, you never know what these children are going to come up with. Absolutely. They might be the ones that are going to design the wind turbine of the future. Maybe a child from the Bahamas is going to design the next micro-embedded wind turbine or whatever.
That would be awesome. We're going to have to take a break, though. Stay with us. More to come right after this. Does your kid have an interest in wind turbine and STEM operations generally? Well, this might be the right thing for him or her. What are the eligibility qualifications for someone to participate in this? You said grades 6 through 9.
Yeah, grades 6
are there limited numbers that you'll accept for the competition?
What we have done is we are sending out invitations to every primary school in the Bahamas, and every junior high school, and even the senior high schools that have a junior high school section, to invite them to be a part of it. This is very similar to the bridge building competition. I don't know if you're familiar with the bridge building.
Awesome.
Where the kids get 100 sticks and a bottle of glue, and you build this bridge, and you could support the biggest weight. I have to put a shout out there, St. John's College. We're the reigning champions this year. Okay, I had to say that.
Yes, okay. Yes.
And we're looking forward to this
year's Queens College.
We're looking forward to this year's competition.
We come back next year.
Did you say that last year? But sorry, go ahead.
And so what's going to happen is we're sending out these invitations. There's a website that's up, and one teacher and 2 students are invited to form a team. And then you sign up online. The deadline to sign up is the 31st of January. And so I'm just sending a big shout out to all of the primary schools, all of the junior high schools. Just sign up online. We have enough kids for whoever wants to sign up. And we're going to try to run this thing and see what comes out of it. Our goal is for the team that wins this competition to represent the Bahamas in Denver in June 2020 at the Kidwin Challenge. You have to be invited. You have to be invited to that.
So you get to put your talents on a bigger stage even.
That's what it is. The Bahamas has to be represented to the wider world.
And BPL is financing all of this?
We are participating in the financing, yes.
That's good. That's great.
Father Shazz and I are having conversations offline about the degree.
Go ahead.
BPL is the title sponsor, but we're reaching out to corporate Bahamas. There are a number of entities have expressed an interest to contribute financially. Maybe they have a school in their area that they're partial to. And you know, Julian, I mean, I'm a teacher. I'm just a teacher, okay? I'm an Anglican priest. I'm an Anglican priest. I'm a mechanical engineer.
Is an important thing. Teachers are critical.
Okay. But you know, the Bahamas has so much talent, and I'm just desperate for the Bahamas to be seen by the wider world as a place where creativity thrives. You know, where we have intelligent, brilliant young people who go off to university and they do great things. You know, just this week we had an old scholar come back to St. John's. He was our head boy in 1988. His name is James Murray. This guy is doing fantastic things in the aerospace industry all over the world, okay? And that talent has come from the Bahamas. So any opportunity that we can be a part of, any kind of platform that gives us the positive exposure, it keeps our kids engaged, it gives them hope that I have a role to play, I can be a success here and I can be a success anywhere in the world.
Now what other requirements are there? I know that there's a fee, and tell us all of the things that are needed leading up to the competition, which is really on one day, isn't it?
It's a one-day deal, Saturday, April the 4th, 9 to 3 at St. John's College Auditorium. We are going to run training sessions for teams that sign up. We're trying to get a window closed now where the teams sign up. So you have until the end of January to sign up, and then we will send you information where come and be a part of this training. I know later on in the program I'll run through some of the technical little nuts and bolts. Essentially what you have to do is you have a 4x4 space. You can build whatever you want out of whatever you want. You want to build it out of titanium, concrete, asphalt, I don't care what you build it out of. It has to fit inside this wind tunnel, and it has to spin. It cannot injure you. And then I'm going to hook my probe up to it and measure the power output from it. So come and wow me. That is
now you're also offering training materials?
The training, we will offer training where, when I went to Rhode Island, we built the base of the wind turbine using PVC pipe, 3/4 PVC pipe. You can go down to any plumbing store, get 1 length of PVC pipe and some pipe glue, and you can construct something that is your tower. Okay, it doesn't have to be expensive. And then you're going to take this motor that I give you, and you're going to make your blades. You can cut blades. If you want to be fancy, you could go and get some sheet metal and let somebody cut it out, or you can 3D print it, or you can laser cut it, or you can take some cardboard and junk into it, or you could do whatever you want to do. Whatever you make has to fit inside this 4x4 wind tunnel that I have. And you cannot injure anybody, and you have to generate the most power. Make it look elegant, and then you need to answer the questions that I'm going to ask you.
Now, Quincy, obviously you said that this is BPL's investment in the future. And of course, that's right now that's an immediate investment. But shortly after that, would there be an investment, for example, someone who does exceptionally well in this? Might that lead to continued scholarship level at high school level and beyond?
The STEM Schools 242 initiative is unfolding. That is, frankly, that is not what we have contemplated. However, who knows? It depends. It depends on what the institution.
Go into more about the STEM Schools 242
right.
initiative.
Right. So what it is an umbrella.
And of course, this is something that is coming out of BPL directly.
Right. So it's an umbrella under which we are partnering with schools like St. John's College Energy Academy and other entities that have STEM enrichment programs for our students and seeking to help them with funding, help them with technical direction, have our engineers participate with them, and as I say, invest our time and our money and our energy into trying to build a pool of mechanical and electrical engineers so that we are increasing our ability to service our own industry and also giving to the world some of these James Murrays and these other people who are. I have acquaintances and friends who work in NASA, throughout the multilateral system in the United Nations and the World Bank and these other places, and you see these Bahamians who are thriving and excelling at literally the highest levels around the world, and then you come home and kids don't seem to be motivated, and we want to bridge that gap. We want to be able to say, you know, there's a path for you from whether it's Queen's College or R.M. Bailey or H.O. Nash or wherever, Centerville Primary, whatever the case may be, there's a path for you from where you are up to the sky is the limit. And we're going to help you along that path. Eventually, I think that we'll find partners that will want to work with scholarship for that kind of thing, but that's probably not going to be
right away.
BPL right away. But we're facilitating the partnership.
Back to the competition, 9-3. Will the judging be completed on that day and the winner announced on that same day, or?
No, that is our intention. I mean, there is, for example, when we did the last Energy Academy, one of BPL's staff members who came to assist us, he worked on wind turbines in Canada. Now he works at the Blue Hills Power Station. And so what we're trying to do, what we are going to do is we're going to put...
Well, I'm going to stop you right there because I got to ask. He works with BPL now.
Yeah, he does.
How is his skill or training in wind turbine technology being used today at BPL?
Well, the machines that are in service to our grid are some of them are old and some of them are not so old. If he's working at our Blue Hills plant, what that means is that he is doing heroes work, keeping the machines that are older in our fleet in operating order. He's probably also working with our director of grid support and supply. That would be Burlington Strawn.
But the main thing is that we actually have people who are skilled and trained in alternative energy, renewable energy, who are just waiting for the opportunity to actually use that.
Working to create that opportunity as much as waiting for it. It's not. This is what I was about to say. He's probably working with Director Strawn to create our policies surrounding renewable energy and integrating renewable energy into the generation mix for BPL.
Now, as you start judging, because you're part of the judges panel as well, it's not exclusively BPL, is it? It's
no,
a mixture of,
I mean, it doesn't have to be unless they would.
No, it won't.
There's going to be. We're going to invite people from the engineering community to assist us to ask those probing questions, not to intimidate the children, but just to probe them to think, and then you'd be surprised as to what answer they will come up with. You know.
What are the criteria for the winner? Really, what are you? I know, obviously you're looking for innovation.
But Father Shazz laid it out, right? Yeah. There's some very basic, simple facts. For energy to be useful, it has to work.
True.
It has to do the work.
True.
So the most important criteria is how much can you lift, or
how much can you generate?
How much power are you generating?
And how long can you let it last?
Well, I mean, there's a 3-minute window.
It's a 30-second window.
30-second window, right? And so whoever generates the most power through that 30-second window, they go to the top of the stack.
Yeah.
And thereafter, they get judged on things like, as we say, the aesthetics and their ability to stand up to hard questions and prove that they knew what they were doing
when they built it,
rather than just got lucky.
Yeah. Now, Father Shazz, I'm going to have to stop you there and let you start at the beginning, but you're also going to have some interesting little...
I brought some teaching aids.
Some teaching aids for us to take a look at afterwards. Stay with us. We're talking about KidWin, an opportunity for young children to express their scientific talent. Stay with us. Welcome back. We're here with Quincy Parker from BPL and Father Shazz Turnquest from the St. John's College Energy Academy. And we're talking about STEM initiatives.
The STEM
stands for?
Yeah, STEM Schools 242. STEM is an acronym, excuse me. Although in 2020 it might be an acronym. But it's an acronym for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics.
And of course we're supposed to put arts in there somewhere, right? But
yes. There is, people talk about STEAM now, and there's STREAM, and then there's STEM with 2 M's, which includes medicine.
STREAM, the R is for what?
Not sure. The pure form is STEM.
It's STEM. I couldn't tell you what the R is for, but you see it all over, right?
Because it sounds like the LGBTQIA,
and so on and so forth. Right? But STEM Schools 242 is purely focused on science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
Great. Okay. Now, Father, you were about to say something in response to Quincy's remarks before we went to break.
I think, the challenge is with renewable energy, because it's intermittent nature. One of the more important variables that we need to sort out here in the Bahamas is how do we store energy. You have some countries in the world where the wind turbines will blow all night and they will power a pump that will pump water up to the top of a mountain and fill that basin up all day, all night. And then 6:30 in the morning, when the power company needs electricity because everybody's up, the hot water's on, the TVs, the kettles, everything is on, they can press a button and that water comes out in a continuous flow, spins the turbine and gives me nice clean energy that's gonna run whatever I need, okay? But if I'm waiting on the wind to do it, the wind may not be blowing when I need this bulk power. So there are some companies around the world that are experimenting with cranes, lifting heavy blocks into the air, then letting the blocks go down slowly. That turns a motor. So, an important component in the renewable energy discussion for the Bahamas is how do we store the renewable energy that we get? I mean, we can't litter the whole country with batteries. We need to innovate and we need to come up with creative ways to store this power. So to augment and assist the conventional power source that we have. That's what I wanted to.
Let me ask you, Quincy, because we spoke a little bit about this. Oyondeki, I think you said it was, in Exumas that has all of the wind turbines. Does BPL have any involvement with that? I think that's a private island, right?
It's private.
So no access to see how successful that is, and really?
With respect to access, I'm sure that's not a difficulty.
Real issue, but
it's not a difficulty. But that is not a BPL
but no sort of data as such. Okay.
But the research that has been compiled by Director Strawn and his team, I think again would surprise a lot of people. BPL has been studying renewables and including renewables into the generation output at BPL for years and years.
And I'm aware of that, which is why I'm kind of, flabbergasted that we haven't pushed a little further. I mean, we have some ideas why, but
we do have some ideas why, and that's why we're going to move to Father Shah.
Okay,
Okay, now you've got some interesting.
This is what I have here. This is the kit.
What is that you've got there on the table?
The kit that each school will get. This is just an electric motor, and when I spin it, if I put power to this motor, it will spin, and if I spin the shaft, it will generate electricity, current and voltage. This is a Kidwin hub for wind turbines. This is patented by them. This is their trademark. They actually had this made in a 3D printer. This is what they sell.
I'm not sure if our cameras can get a closer look at that so people can see.
Every team will get one of these, and then they will get a bag of dowels, and you have 12 holes in this thing. So you can have a maximum of 12 blades, you can have a minimum of 2 blades. You might make a wind turbine with 1 blade. It will, I mean, the rotation would be compromised, but it's up to you. And what you do is, you will insert as many of these as you would like. Let's go with 2 blades. And then there's a little part here that you twist, and you tighten up. It closes like a clamshell. It keeps the blades in. And then you stick this motor into the back here. And then this part here is up to you now. How am I going to secure this to a tower? How am I going to secure this to a structure so that this spins freely? And when this spins, I'm going to take these alligator clips and I'm going to clamp it onto the terminals, and then the other end I'm going to clamp onto a probe that I have, and I'm going to plug that into my computer, and I'm going to start that data logger.
Computer?
Yeah, it's a data logger. It's a data logging software, and I'm going to stick this in that wind tunnel and cut on those fans. And then, if all goes well, it should spin freely, and we're going to let it run up, give it about 10-15 seconds to run up, and then we're going to record for 30 seconds. And
is this relatively simple technology?
It's very simple technology. It's just a motor. You can take it out of a toy car. You could. Some of the kids in the US, they build their own generators. They have these kits where they wind their own wires, and they have to have them in certain orientation. It's fabulous. It's some of the stuff that they do. One of the big challenges with wind turbine technology is the aesthetics of it. People always have a problem with how it looks. You know, normally the wind blows in these beautiful places.
What about space too, though? Does it? They take. I mean, they seem to take up quite a bit of space.
I mean, they take up space. I think that they're very elegant. I mean, my screensaver.
I mean, I like how they look now. I love how they look.
And I was grateful to be able to go to Block Island Wind Farm in Rhode Island, the first offshore wind farm in the United States. And they're just sitting out in the middle of the sea, and they're just spinning, doing their thing. And they're powering up this island, Block Island, for virtually free, because the island used to be dependent on diesel for its power generation. And now we have these wind turbines out there just spinning in the breeze. The diesels are there as a backup. Obviously, when the wind doesn't blow, you need it, okay? And for small island states like we are, you need that. But the thing is, the renewable energy technology is there to augment this, to help to save some money, to help to minimize wear and tear on the engines. If I don't have to run them at 100%, maybe I can run them at 75%. That saves me some money on maintenance. That saves me some money on fuel. What can I do with this money? How can I invest that back into the fabric of the country so that, you know, I have some surplus, so that next year when another hurricane comes along, I have some money that I can spend to quickly get everything back up online. That's the role of renewable energy systems.
Right.
And, you know, it's just great that we have an opportunity to give our kids an opportunity to show what they can do, you know.
Now, with the competition, when does it open? When do you start taking? Are you taking applications immediately?
We are taking applications right now. The portal is open.
Give us details of that.
The portal is open on www.sjcenergyacademybahamas.org.
Sorry, and we're gonna include a link to it on our BPL website.
Great. So you can either get on that directly or go to BPL, and then it'll be there.
And you just click Kidwin, the Kidwin tab.
Yes.
And then you the form says sign up, and you click sign up, and you put in the details. It's only about 6 things we asked for.
So it's active now?
It's active right now. Right now. We can do it right now.
The link on the BPL webpage is not active right now. It will be active by the end of the day.
Okay.
That would be BPL, www.bplco.com.
By the time this airs, it should be.
Yes, sir.
Now, when is the closing date?
For applications, January 31st.
Yep.
Okay, okay. So you just got a couple of days, because it'll be the 4th of April that this actual event occurs.
Correct.
Now that's got to be an exciting time in itself, just to see all of these different types of wind turbines coming in and people trying to show them off.
This is the thing, right? Is we have a hyper-competitive school community right now. I mean, you see it at BAISS, and you see it at the Nationals, and you see it at these different places. And I think that giving the students and the teachers who will be competing as a team, right? The teachers will be just as invested in doing well as the students that they're working with. And I think giving folks a chance to cross swords in the scientific arena is going to be quite an exciting thing. Before we came on the air, we were talking about it's academic,
right?
And for those folks who remember those days, there was a certain amount of pride in being able to step into the gladiatorial arena and represent and do well. And I think this sort of thing is, that same sentiment is going to fuel participation in the KidWin Challenge. So I think we'll have a number of teams, and I think the competition is going to be very fierce.
$50 application?
Yeah, there's a $50 application fee that will pay for the kit that you have, and then any other type of material that you might require.
Oh, sorry, I may have missed that. You can only use the materials you provide?
You can, I will provide you with these things here.
But other materials can be
up to you.
You can do whatever you want to do.
Okay,
yeah, it's up to you. It's just this. This is what you're going to be getting, and some paraphernalia.
So it'd be interesting now if people start reusing plastics for this, huh?
Why not? Yeah. Why not? Just,
yes.
You can cut up a water jug, or maybe you can, use an iron and press out that 5-gallon jug, and then you can cut it and do whatever. It just needs to fit inside my wind tunnel.
We have to take our final break. I'm going to come right back to you, but stay with us. We're going to tell you a little bit more about KidWin initiative and wind turbines, one of the ways to the future. Stay with us. Welcome back. Now, Quincy Parker, just before the break, you had something you wanted to say.
Yeah, I would love to. This is the moment at which, if I were in a different situation, I would look into the camera and put on my earnest voice.
Right there.
And say, join the STEM Schools 242 initiative. BPL has worked wonderfully well with the St. John's College Renewable Energy Academy, and we're now putting on our second initiative together, and the students have benefited, as have their parents and their families and the school. We would love to partner with your STEM enrichment initiative, and there's a link on our webpage at BPL, www.bplco.com, for the STEM Schools 242 initiative. We'd love to have you.
Right. Now, we do have to highlight, right, just because we are green giants.
I know, right?
That St. John's College Energy Academy is the only one.
I know.
But you really would like to see one in every school, wouldn't you?
Well, the thing about it is, when I went to Rhode Island, I met a friend of mine, Cody from Iowa, and he runs an energy academy within his school system. So he has like 150 kids within a school of about 1,000 students, and their curriculum is only based around energy. English, whatever they do, it has an energy theme. Okay,
Wow.
St. John's.
That's deep.
I'm so grateful for my principal at St. John's, Dr. Evans, for just allowing me the liberty and the latitude to develop these things, for having the vision and the passion to say, hey, we have to engage our students. And I'm grateful for her continued support. Like I said earlier, I'm grateful for the steering committee of the GEF Small Grants Program. There would be no Energy Academy without them, okay? They put their money where their mouth is. And I'm grateful for all of the corporate people who have assisted us over the years. And I'm grateful for BPL who came in and really had a passion to do something with the junior high schools in their area. And I'm grateful that they came and they partnered with us because they saw a good thing and they wanted to be a part of it. And I'm grateful to them for that. I'm passionate about renewable energy. I studied this almost 30 years ago, and I'm still excited about it. Back in the day, we were building integrated micro wind turbines. St. John's College, we've built 2 solar-powered race cars now. If somebody wants to invest $250,000 with me, I'll build a 3rd solar-powered race car and take it to Australia or Dubai or wherever and represent the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, because we are brilliant people, we are creative people, we are passionate people, and the world needs to know that what we're capable of doing.
Absolutely, absolutely. What are the best schools for like alternative energy studies if you wanted to? I mean, I would assume MIT would be in that. And Quincy, you referred to this you likened it to like a sports competition. So I'm sure if we're doing amazing things, you're going to get the MITs coming down to the Bahamas to try and get people in their curriculum. Eh? But what are the best schools?
The best schools. Well, 2 things to say. The best schools, well, obviously MIT, those, Caltech, those guys, Cornell. In Canada, the University of Prince Edward Island has a huge focus on that. I went to the Strathclyde University in Glasgow. They have a big, they have an energy center. That's where I did my master's degree. A lot of the universities in the UK, Cranfield, Nottingham, they embrace it because there's a lot of offshore wind in the North Sea. And they take advantage of that. I was grateful to the Bahamas government for funding me to take part in a science teacher workshop at MIT last year, where I met the people there and they said, you know what, Shazz, look, every kid that comes to us has a 1600 SAT across the board, okay? So that's the criteria to get in.
Yeah, so but you got to have something unique.
But after you get in, what we do is we stimulate them and we encourage them to come up with something. What can you create that is marketable, that we can patent, that you can be a success with? This is what defines you.
Wow.
When I was there, I linked up with this guy who had made a platform for doing experiments. He had a virtual lab. And so St. John's College, we partnered with them, and I asked him to create some virtual labs that we can use to do BGCSE coursework experiments, because on some of the family islands there are no labs. In New Providence, sometimes there are no labs. Okay, so but a kid can go into this virtual world and conduct a Hooke's law experiment and come up with data. You know what I mean? That is where we have to go with this thing. That's where education is going.
So obviously, since BPL now is doing its solar projects throughout the country, there's going to be a solar equivalent to this coming up soon?
To the Kidman thing?
Right, yeah.
The Kidman has a solar component, but I just want to focus on the,
I just was wondering if you're going to be expanding into other areas as well, other renewable areas. Is hydroelectric still considered? I mean, what is that?
Hydroelectric is renewable. I think after this, what I would like to explore perhaps is like an energy storage competition.
Because you keep saying that's the big challenge.
That's the big
challenge.
Even
with solar?
With all manner of energy storage, because whoever cracks a storage code is going to rule the world. Okay? Absolutely. That's what it is.
Absolutely.
That's a challenge.
That's our I mean, stepping away from the partnership with the SJC, Renewable Energy Academy, which of course I would never step away from, Father Shazz. The reality of our experience with implementing solar is before a single panel goes into the ground or goes onto a rooftop, the question of how you're going to store the energy those panels generate has to be answered, and answered satisfactorily from both a cost and a logistics perspective before we could even begin to, as we say, install the panels. So the storage is the key.
Wow. So that's another competition, I guess.
Yeah, that was, we're going to sort of this Kidman thing, we're going to get that, you know, we're going to get that working right, and then we're going to do something different.
As we get to the end of this program now, what else do we need to know, both from the BPL side and from SJC Energy Academy side?
Sir?
The SJC Energy Academy is a fantastic platform that allows students who have an interest in exploring renewable energy as a career goal to get their feet wet, to use this as an opportunity to be creative, to really embrace the nature of what is possible here in the Bahamas, because we are blessed with sunshine, we are blessed with offshore wind. We live right in the path of the trade wind.
Absolutely.
You go on any of the family islands, you do through Exuma, Long Island, the wind is always blowing. How can I harness this so that I can make my country energy independent, some more sustainable, less vulnerable? You know, I want to be a part of making the Bahamas even greater than it is again.
Absolutely. You're well on the way, obviously, and
I agree.
And so is BPL by doing this. You know, it's great.
Yeah, we are excited about STEM Schools 242 and partnering with the St. John's College Renewable Energy Academy. I think Father Shazz is brilliant, and I think his passion is infectious. It's a great thing. But from a broader perspective, BPL is absolutely committed to ensuring that 2030 goal is met, and that by 2030, at least 30% of our energy needs are met through renewable energy sources. We believe in solar, and we're committed to it. What we're doing in Ragged Island right now is it's actually more expensive than it would be to just put more, fossil fuel and renew their power through fossil fuels. It's more expensive to go in and make that island a green island from an energy perspective. What we are doing is going to be able to power 100% of the island's needs in off-peak, and 90%, as much as 98% during peak with just the solar. We have the other things for backup, but the point is that it is also our lab, right? What we learn there, we can duplicate in the other islands, and ultimately those lessons are going to be instituted in New Providence. And when we start our solar march in New Providence, it will be with the benefit of having learned all of those lessons from the other family islands.
Now, I'm not trying to be mean to you, Quincy, but some people who may be watching this might be saying, this is great, right? We're taking this big move, BPL is doing really well. But then on the other hand, they may be asking, why are we looking at LNG?
Because, this is a good question, right? LNG is a great partner fuel for renewables, right? Of the things that come out of the ground, it is the least carbon costly. It is also, because of where we're located, we have access to it for incredible sustainability. It is the cheapest of the fuels, and so because we are moving in a direction of trying to increase renewable generation, what we are able to do by switching to LNG is bring the cost of fuel down, increase our ability to keep price sustainability, and also bring the environmental impact of our fuel down as well.
A real tangible step from the old fossil fuel.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Really heading towards true alternative and renewable energy.
I believe and I'd have to double check this because I think the statistic is a little fuzzy, but I'm pretty sure that LNG releases half of the harmful emissions as ADO.
Good. That's cool.
So, yeah, that's
we got 1 minute left now, so I've got to give me the details again about people who want to, sign up for this amazing opportunity.
Beautiful. www.sjcenergyacademybahamas.org. Click on the tab Kidmin, click sign up, and then you put your teacher's name, the name of your school, the 2 children who are going to be a part of the team, the email address and the telephone contact, and then we will take it from there. Once you sign up, we will come to you with the kit, and we are going to have virtual training sessions, and we're going to have one where we invite people to come and say, this is what you can do. And then Saturday, April the 4th, 9 a.m., if life lasts, we hope to welcome you to St. John's College Auditorium to take part in the first ever Kidwin Bahamas 2020.
Wow. Well, I hope to be there to see that so we can highlight that on another show I have. But Father Shazz Turnquest and Quincy Parker, wonderful to see you both here on the Reid Factor. And everyone, get started on your wind turbines and then also work on cracking the storage issue. We'll see you next time on the Reid Factor. Thank you.
Thank you.